What is going on, Lunatic Fringe? You are on the cusp of a big move. You saw the start of it over the weekend. You saw a little spike in your price, and I know a lot of you felt like, oh my God, it's here. Well, not exactly, not yet. What that was basically, look, that's a liquidity sweep. Basically, it's just sweeping out the futures people who are setting their sell orders at a certain level. All we did was we destroyed a few of the bears, and now it's time for an actual pump. Remember, that was only the first pump. The first pump is going to sweep out the people who are doing futures trading and arbitrage opportunities. Now, the second pump that we're going to get is going to clear out some of the traders who didn't sell fast enough and they're waiting for that secondary pump, and then they're going to dump on it. And then the third one should be the actual breakout. Now, look, you never know. News could change, things, the dynamics of stuff could change. But fundamentally speaking, the first time you have like a surge, you're basically sweeping out all the futures positions. So that's what we did over the weekend. You saw a nice little surge from USTC, saw a nice little surge from LUNC, saw all of these things start to happen, but you didn't see the actual breakout. So again, what that means is that was a manipulation event. Just to be very, very clear, when you see this happen, that means that somebody, some whales, some entity got in here, decided that they were going to go on a buying spree, start to push the price up in order to liquidate some people. And then once that was done, you've cleared the way because you've simplified the selling process because those shorts are no longer in those spots. And once that's cleared out, that allows you to run it back up the second time with less sell pressure. So price about to go up on Luna Classic. We're finally seeing it break out. Now make sure you hit the like button on the way in. I'm going to explain to you exactly what's going on and why it's going on and everything you need to know. And you should be pretty bullish right about now. Okay, before we get started, make sure that you're at Terra Casino, terracasino.io for all of your risk-based gaming needs. LaViking available right now. They're giving away $1 million from June 3rd to June 17th through Gates of Hades daily tournament. That's Daily Madness from now until June 29th for $11,000. Bet and win 125 euros weekly up until June 29th. Guys, if you're not here and you're not taking a shot every once in a while, at least, to try to make some money here, what are you even? This is your place to go. This is your crypto casino that's not crypto, but casino. You know what I mean. Sign up today. Links in the description down below. And if you're trading meme coins, we're going to talk about a few meme coins. If you're trading meme coins, then the place that you do it, terraport.finance. Remember, USDC now being paired up. So, yeah, and you can see right here, we've got the trading has started, AXUSDC. So we've got, looks like we've got a pairing. Now I would go check this out and verify this. I'm not sure exactly how this is working or whether it's even active or not. So after I say that, I wonder what that is or is not. But you now have a path on and off through terraport.finance. So what are you waiting for? Get it going today. And don't forget Redline Drifter working on a stablecoin, which is probably going to send things and set everything alight here. Now, what is going on in the market? Well, let's talk about what happened in the last couple of days. So we've gotten some data out. The data looks pretty good for the United States. There was a 99% chance that there was no Fed rate cut coming in June. Once the CPI data came out, the markets are now pricing in a 62% chance of a Fed rate cut by September, but not June still. So Donald Trump is famously at this point arguing and fighting with the Fed right now that you need to cut rates. You need to give the markets a chance here. And the Fed does not seem to be in that spot. Now, this is what's happening right here. The focus will be on the Fed's economic projections, policy statement, and Chair Powell's press conference for signs of a pivot towards easing. And what that means is quantitative easing. And what quantitative easing basically entails is turning on the money printer. And guys, there's a war going on. There's a proxy war happening. There's Ukraine and Russia still at war. This is money printer territory to begin with. Donald Trump needs more money in the economy because he wants to start helping. He wants to increase the budget deficit by $5 trillion. Again, that's money printer stuff. So all we need to see is the signal, the tip of the nose, the ear put whatever it is from Jerome Powell, whatever signal we're looking for from Jerome Powell. If we don't get a Fed rate cut, then we should see at least a signal during the meeting. The meeting starts on Tuesday. Wednesday is the announcement. So we will know at that point. Now, in the event that a rate cut does happen and it's 25 basis points, it's not exactly priced in at this point, but it would be a shock and you would see risk assets really, really rally. That would be the catalyst to take Bitcoin to that new level of 124,000. And then from there, everything would get drug up with it. That's a 25% increase. You would probably expect to see Luna Classic test those levels that I gave you not that long ago. Since the level that I gave you on Friday just got tested, then it would continue to play out. So that's what we're looking for right now. While that's happening, the US dollar index is starting to fall off a cliff, and that's going to help risk asset as well. So all the pieces are in place right now for a significant sort of rally getting ready to happen. So where does that leave us? Well, it leaves us with Happy Caddy Crypto. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but he is somebody in the Luna Classic ecosystem, has a validator, by the way, put up a signaling proposal. Burn the final 8 wallets in trial exhibit P301 via chain upgrade. Now, the last time we had this kind of conversation from Happy Caddy Crypto, if you guys remember, it was, let's do this. And most of the people did not want to do it because of the ongoing situation with the lawsuit. Well, then Terraform Labs actually burned those wallets that he had put up the projections on. So it was entirely unnecessary. So at this point, I think that this is entirely unnecessary too. However, I do want to see it completed because that would be good for business. And the reason for that is not this. This is very, very insignificant right here. Luna Classic, the remaining Luna Classic is only 302 million. It's not a lot. It's not going to do anything, but that's 5.46 trillion in the supply right now. If we were to cut that out, it'd be 5.45. So, it helps just a little bit, but the significance right here, the significance is 4% of the supply, all circulating in USTC, could be removed. And if you do that, then you are talking about, almost 5% of the supply being moved at one fell swoop. Guess what happens? The price of everything that's still in your wallet ends up going up significantly. Let's not forget here that it's 5.65 billion USTC being circulated. So, basically what we're saying here is if you remove 350, let's call it 360 million from that supply, then you're talking about 5.29 billion. And then you would take the market cap of 73 million, 73,510,000, and you would divide it by the remaining, which is going to be 5,290, boom. And you're going to be at 1.39 cents. Where are you currently? You're at 1.299 cents. So you're going to go up a tenth of a penny without doing anything just by that. That significant sort of jolt moves the price action immediately up above this range, up near the top of where we started to push the other day, and creates a new floor. And that's what we're looking for. And what we're trying to do right here, if you remember in the conversation, is we're minting higher lows. Well, that helps us mint that higher low for this breakdown. We don't come down into this range, into the 12s or the 11s here. We start to kind of meander right in the range that we're at and even get a little bit higher. Well, then guess what? That's positive reinforcement for investors. That makes investors say, hey, something's happening. And then boom, you start to see us fulfill that move. Now, that's not the full move. The full move is still way up here. I think it's a little bit higher. I think it's way up into this range right here at about 5 or 6 cents. But that's what starts off some kind of rally like that. So I've been incentivized over the last 2 days to switch and sell my USTC back into the pool and buy more Luna Classic. But I decided against it because I thought, I think it's going to go so much higher at this point. I don't have any real backing on it, but I think that USTC is about to make a move, and it looks to me like there's every reason to think, based on everything that we know so far, there really is a significant reason to think that USTC is going to be a prime mover just a little bit before Luna Classic, and it's an opportunity for me. But let's look at the chart. What we talked about on Friday is that there was this little mini trend that was playing out, right? This little mini trend, and where was that little mini trend going to go? Well, it was going to go up to the top of this range. Where did it go? It went up to the top of the range. What did it do right here? This is the one I'm talking about, sorry. Friday, we talked about this little spot right here, right? And that maybe we'll get a nice little rip here, and we'll get something sort of, kind of break out. And guess what? Saturday, that's exactly what we got. Where do we circle? We circled down here and said, hey, you know what would probably happen? The most likely scenario here is going to be a dip down into this range. This is Friday when we were talking about it. And by the way, if we could look at it on the hour chart here, I guess, what we were talking about was, there we go. So right there. Thursday night, then Friday, boom, we start to break out right here. And I say, listen, this is our area right here. This is the bounce, the strong bounce. The reversal is going to come up to this range, right? Guess what? Came up perfectly to this range. Like, guys, we drew this up on Friday and said that this was going to happen. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. So we're going to take our victory lap for calling that. Now, what we didn't see is a move back down and then a bounce from there. And we haven't seen that complete yet. But when we pull up a Fibonacci and look at it from this context, we had a perfect play out. What do we get? What do I tell you guys is going to happen? I tell you that you're going to go from the 1 to the 0, then you're going to come back down into this range right here, and then you're going to have a 0.236 retest, and there's a 0.236 retest right here. Then what am I telling you? That I'm telling you that it's going to probably come back down into this range one more time, and then we're going to start getting that quicker breakout, and boom, we're going to start testing that high again, and then that's going to lead to that breakout all the way up there. That's what that looks at. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to happen right now. That just means that over the next couple of days, I would suspect that we'll see something along those lines. So it would be my estimation that you're looking at a move up into, and look, I know I got a lot of lines here, but I think you're going to see a move up into this range right here between 67 and 7 coming up very, very shortly. And listen, that's not the move that you want. That's not the big move that you want. That's just the next move that you're going to get. So that is where I think we're going to be. Now, the hard part to this is we should kind of zoom out just a little bit and look at it from a volume standpoint. And, I'm not going to do the volume work for you, I guess, or I'll do a little bit of it. But bump. We're going to put the volume profile out. And you can see right there where that white line is on the screen that just popped up. That's your volume node. The volume is at 409. So ultimately, I see a breakout and a continuation at that move to 7. I think that continuation leads us up into the 9 range. And I gave you, that breakout, going to pop up here, hit 3 zeros, 11, bounce back down into that 9 range as support, and then boom, that's where we get that breakout. So that's what I think is going to happen. That's the way I think that it's going to play out. Let's see if I'm right. Who knows? All right, volume up a little bit today, but volume up pretty big on USTC. Everybody's seeing what I'm seeing. They're seeing that 300 and something million USTC getting burned as a great opportunity for a dramatic spike in that price action. That's going to be a 4% reduction of the circulating supply. That is a huge number. That is a gigantic number coming out of supply at one point. Now, what we need to do is figure out exactly how we can continue to do that and how we can continue to find ways in order to do that. And that's going to happen with stablecoin market module. It's going to happen with all those different things. Redline Drifter and those guys, they're working on that right now. When we have more information about that, then we'll pop it out. Now, I do want to address this. You've got Haley LUNC. Don't really know who Haley, but NC Invest. It seems like everybody's kind of using the same thing here, and you're starting to see all these people tell you that we're about to explode higher. And that is true. However, it should be noted that what they're looking at right here, they're looking at an RSI, which the RSI looks like it's at 44. That's a neutral territory. That's not a pump territory. It's already pumped a little bit. So is it going so much higher? I don't exactly think so. And then what they're talking about right here is a golden cross, and you're seeing a golden crossover happening while you're having the RSI in a weakened mode, meaning that there should be a surge. And again, that's going to take you to either 407 or it's going to take you to 409. That's what we're looking for. Not the breakout. This is not the indication of a breakout at all. And they're attempting to give you like the head and shoulders play out, and the head and shoulders play out does not play out to the top of the range. I'm sorry, it's not exactly how that works, but and to be fair, that is not what this is at all. Like, this is not, man. Listen, What they're saying is happening is not happening. What I'm saying is happening is happening. Now, that could change. There's any number of, if somebody wants to prove me wrong and throw $1 million at Terra Luna Classic one day and just buy up, $1 million worth or do something wild with it, I mean, it could happen. But generally speaking, there has to be something at play. What was at play during the last pump? What was at play was liquidating bears. That's it. That's why that happened. Now the question is, how do we start to zoom back up? Do we start to fulfill that and continue that move? And that's attracting new investors in. And guess what? Everything is right because, again, the FOMC is coming up in a couple of days. Everything is bullish. The narratives are bullish. A few minutes ago, the Trump media team announced a combined Ethereum and Bitcoin ETF that they've submitted to the SEC. There's a lot of things going on that you should be incredibly bullish about. The Genius Act is up for a vote this week. Clarity Act is going to be up for a vote sometime this month, before August for sure. All of these things are happening as we speak, so it is only a matter of time. Like, the clock is ticking. The clock is really ticking. I know we've said that a lot of times, but it really is ticking, that you are about to experience a whirlwind of new money coming into crypto that you haven't yet experienced. And we've seen it, by the way. We're at 3.3 trillion market cap right now, which means that we are at a high that we hadn't even seen in the last bull run. We're $300 billion higher than the top of the last bull run. Make no mistake about it. We just haven't had an altcoin season because Bitcoin has been ripping. But Bitcoin, where the profit is made, will start to cascade down. We just haven't seen that next blow off. Now, going back to it, we did see back in December, we saw a nice little run on altcoins. Was it a great one? No. Was it a good one? Not really. It was okay at best. Okay, that's a weird ranking system, I know, but that is the truth. We really kind of had a nice little rip here. And it didn't really matter whether you were up or down. What matters is, did you sell at the top? And did you allow it to go back down? Did you take your profit? Did you enter and re-enter your position down at the bottom? Did you make money? Did you make money? If you didn't, then shame on you. Make money this time. Like, don't screw this up. But, you got a nice little surge. Wasn't the surge you wanted? Sure. But it was an opportunity to accumulate more. And that's really what it's all about. And the question would be, did you? I did. So I have more Luna Classic now than I've ever had. I've got more USTC now with that than I've ever had. I've got more of almost every token that I've ever had because I recognize that sign. So the question is, are you recognizing the signs? Well, that's up to you. Do you see the signs? Do you recognize the signs? Not the signs that you're being manipulated, which is what you saw. Okay, that's what we were talking about. You saw the signs that you were being manipulated. And that's not what I mean. What I mean is the sign that says we're going up or we're going down. If you see those, you recognize those, you make your investment accordingly, and you're fine. If you don't, then you struggle. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Luna Classic going so much higher. It's not financial advice, but I'm always right.